Good morning, it's day 164. I'm like looking at the clock like that's actually how long it is. I'm going to, yep, you ate the last one. Yep. I'm going to probably do what I did yesterday as far as have the vitamin and the tuna salad and crackers. You like that? And I really don't like having to mandatorily walk her in and sign her in, because then that means I have to get ready at this early in the morning, which I'm not really thrilled about. But on the other hand, it's like, as long as I'm presentable, I'm not putting like a full face of makeup on. I'm going just like this. But I have to feed the dog because I can't leave her in her kennel in the bedroom because she will whine and wake Brian up. So I have to take her and leave her in the van for 30 seconds so I can go walk Madison in.
And after she just go back and then go home until my class is over, and then she'll come pick me up.
You got it. Look at poor little Jasmine's arms. Puppies. Hey guys. 10 to 12. Picked up Madison. Had to go back home to drop something off for Brian before we went to the base, because I want to go to the Airman's Attic today. Because you know how I love free stuff. I mean, come on. Yeah, and maybe I'll get Madison some clothes. Maybe I'll get everybody some clothes. You never know what you'll find. My back, I somehow did something to my back. I'm already like partially disabled because I have arthritis in my back, but most of the time it doesn't really affect my mobility unless I stand too long, sit in the same position too long, you know, stuff like that. But it really bothers me at night, so I don't know, like, my bed's too soft, my bed's too hard. I don't know what the issue is, and I don't know really how anybody can tell me how to make it better, but whatever. But somehow, the night before last, I think I just must have slept on it wrong or something. Something came out of place in my very, very, very lower back. Like, right above, like, your butt crack, like, that area. And in my spine. And, like, just sitting here, it's like a dull, mild ache, but if I twist or, like, try to do anything, like, too fast. Ready, tickle tummy? Ready? Woo! It will, like, it feels like it's gonna go out. You know, if you've ever had, like, a knee go out on you, or an ankle go out on you, or even, like, a hip go out on you, it kind of feels like that only in my back. Just feels like something slipped. So, I don't know. I might have, like, a slipped disc or something. I don't know. But we tried heating pad last night. I tried to baby it yesterday, but I woke up this morning. It was worse than it was yesterday. And it's Brian's day off, so I've had to take care of the kids all day. And picking Alana up and down and stuff, it's not good, not good, not good. So, mostly I just want to check it out. I want to see what's wrong. I mean, it's not terrible, terrible, horrible or anything, and I don't really think I need any medication necessarily. I just want them to tell me what's wrong with it and have it, you know, documented in case it gets worse or whatever. I just want them to monitor it and whatever. So I have an appointment for that at 6 o'clock. We have a play date at 4 o'clock. Madison didn't know about that. Yeah, we'll see how you behave. So if you behave yourself while we're on base and everything, then we'll get to go. But if you act up and you disobey and you're disrespectful, right, if you don't listen, you don't follow the rules, then you're not going to get good consequences. You're not going to get to go to the play date. But if you make good choices, you get good things, okay?
I'm eating my lunch right now. That's good, right?
That is good that you're eating your lunch. Thank you. So anyway, so that's the plan for the rest of the day. Wow, I just finished doing my Your Day, My Day explanation video. And, whew, that was a long-winded one. Sorry about that. And so I had some Chips Ahoy cookies this morning, and then I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich before I went to go pick up Madison. We're almost to the base now. I was going to get Subway, but then I just packed us some sandwiches because we are way over budget, and Brian is spending like a madman. I don't know if he feels like whatever, like he got his reenlistment bonus at the end of this month, and so he like just wants to go spank crazy buying this stuff that I don't really agree with, but I've got to let go of some of that. You know, he works hard for us, and you know, I spend money on things that he wouldn't spend money on and that he probably sees no value in. And you know, he was telling me the other day when he was trying to explain this, because we got in a little bit of a tiff about it, that, you know, he feels as if we've over-invested in this house, but he has not said anything to me about it because he knows that it makes me happy, and that's, you know, he wants to make me happy, so he just lets me do it. And you know, he never, like 1% of the time does he even say anything about any amount of money that I'm spending, because I try to be frugal and stuff. But with the home decorating lately and everything like that, I mean, maybe that's why he feels like he's justified to buy himself whatever he wants. Plus, I think the thing that kind of got me was I did buy a dog lately, and we spent a few $100s on her, so, you know, it was for me. It wasn't for us. It wasn't for him, you know, and he didn't complain. So, anyway, that's what I ate. That's what's going on. I'm drinking some water now, and excited to get to the airman's attic and see what we can find. Okay, so I showed you when we were on our way to the airman's attic, and I'm going to make a different video for the haul that I got from there. But I didn't tell you what happened when we got there and what's happened since. It's 5:36 right now. I'm on my way to my 6 o'clock appointment about my back. I've had a bulged disc before, and I think that's what it is. I think, well, I know if it was a slip disc, it would hurt like way, way more. But anyway, I'm on my way to my appointment for that. Let me tell you something. I'm never taking my kids to the airman's attic ever again. Ever, ever, ever again. They threw such a massive screaming, throwing each other, giving each other bruises in the forehead, screaming, people staring, crazy, nasty fits than I've ever seen. I was mortified, to say the least. And if the place wasn't 45 minutes away and only open twice a week and cost me $10 in tolls to get there and back, okay, maybe it's $6, I would have dropped everything and left. Not cool, not good, never, ever again. That aside, we did end up going to the play group because they got other consequences for that fit. They got toys taken away. And so we did not end up going to that at 4 o'clock, and they had some pizza while we were there, so that was good. I didn't have to make them dinner. And I just dropped them off with Daddy from doing that, and then now I'm going to my appointment. Well, let me tell you that although some of you are sweet enough to say and feel that I've motivated you or made you feel good about something, and just because I mess up sometimes doesn't make that an impossibility, so I appreciate that. But I'm telling you guys, and I've told you a million times before, how bad of like a food addict I am and I can be, and like the issues with food that I have and stuff like that. And I talked to you about it the other day, about how I don't know how I'm going to change my coping mechanisms, but it definitely needs to change. But they have rehab for food addicts now, and I almost feel like I need to go there. Well, I don't almost feel like, I know I need to go there, but I'm not actually going to go there because, I don't know, I guess I just can't. And I don't really think that it will work necessarily. I mean, I think that maybe I should get into some counseling for it, but it's like, I don't know, it's kind of a taboo subject, don't you guys think? I mean, everybody, well, maybe not everybody, maybe I'm just generalizing and I'm just pushing that on everybody. Seems to me, I believe, do you believe in God? Sorry, Tenacious D. I believe that most people don't really believe that compulsive overeating or whatever, food addiction, is real. They really only think that like bulimics or anorexics are the only ones with an eating disorder. And I know I have an eating disorder. You know, I don't really need the public or even a doctor really to tell me that. I mean, if my eating and my relationship with food is abnormal, that to me says abnormality, disorder, you know. My opinion. So, it's just kind of a taboo subject, I think. I think some people look at hoarders and think, well, they're just slobs. They're just lazy. Not as like an actual obsessive compulsive disorder. The same way they look at people that are overweight or people that have an addiction to food or whatever the case as just being weak-minded and like lazy and gluttons, really. And I think some people secretly have almost an admiration for anorexics because they think that it takes so much strength to be an anorexic. So they have like almost a respect for it. But people have no respect for anybody that has an actual addiction to food. The same way that they wouldn't really have any respect for somebody that was a crackhead for being a crackhead. You know what I mean? I feel like that. I feel like I am like an addict in recovery that keeps relapsing, is what I feel like, because I can imagine, I can replace the food in my mind, and I can imagine that I'm addicted to drugs, and I can say, okay, I'm doing great today, one day at a time, you know, whatever, and then something stressful will happen to me, or life will get a little bit too much, or I'll get overwhelmed or maybe even bored, and I reach for the drugs. And then I try to rationalize it in saying that it's only, it's just today, whatever, I'll be back to good tomorrow, and can't beat myself up about it, I just messed up this one day, you know what I mean? It's an issue, and people don't take it as seriously as drug addiction, but I'm telling you what, heart disease is the #1 killer disease in this country of men and women. And there are other contributing factors to that, but unhealthy diets are a big one. And so it's deadly. And not only that, it's interfering with my life. It's interfering with my happiness. It's interfering with my confidence. It's interfering with my pocketbook. And if I don't find a way to fix it, it's going to interfere with my health again. I mean, it's already interfering with my health just by consuming this kind of crap, and in too large of quantities. But if I become obese again, I wasn't obese at 185, but I was at 220. If I become obese again, it will be affecting my health. I'm getting older now. I'll be 31 next month. Like, I've got to start taking this stuff seriously. Not just for my physical health, but my mental health as well. I was just thinking how funny it is, how similar this food addiction can seem to other drug or alcohol addictions. It's like you're doing good, you're not even on the road to do anything to use, but then you go to a party and everybody else can eat in moderation, but you're the one that has to overdo it. You're the one that has to overindulge. I don't know, it's just so funny. It's so weird. And then sometimes you have those food addict friends that you hang out with that always want to go out to eat at the bad places, and you get in with the wrong crowd and you start using again. It's so funny, and I think, and I don't mean funny like haha, because it's not funny haha, but what is ironic or whatever, I don't know what the word is, but people do think that it's funny, think that it's like a joke when I'm talking about that. Like, it's like using a drug when I go to Chick-fil-A after having a stressful afternoon with my kids at the store and freaking out, and I go and I get a 4-piece strip with all the Chick-fil-A sauce and the large milkshake. That's using. And I should not use any substance to comfort myself and make myself feel better. I should have that ability in my own mind to cope with my life. Well, guys, I am in the middle of kind of a nightmare right now. Not as nightmarish as some people's lives are, so I'm thankful for that, though. But I am kind of on the mild end of a 2-hour panic attack right now. And I'm trying my best to calm down because Brian just left. It's 2 a.m. and Brian's wisdom tooth pain was so bad that he's driving all the way to the base at 2 o'clock in the morning on a Friday night to go see a doctor. And I'm having a panic attack because my body is, well, I have panic disorder anyway, but lately my panic attacks have been really rare. And sorry if the camera's shaking, because I'm like shaking it everywhere, and my stomach is really upset. But my panic attacks have really been rare lately, and but the doctor gave me some medication, and my body is overly sensitive to medication, and so everything was fine. He gave me that shot, and then he gave me this patch that I put on at about 11 o'clock. It was like, it's an anti-inflammatory patch that I put on my lower back, and I was fine. I went to go lay down at a little after midnight, and I read in bed for a little while, and then pretty much as soon as I started trying to go to sleep, I just started feeling really strange, and then I started getting really anxious, and then I started to have a pretty, moderate to severe panic attack at about 12:45, and it was pretty much ongoing. Well, actually, it was before 12:45. It was about 12:25, 12:30. And it was pretty much ongoing until about 1:45, and then I decided to lay back in bed, and I felt, pretty clear-headed and pretty calm. My stomach was still a bit upset, but I felt okay. And then I started feeling panicky again. And Brian had laid down with me at the time too, because he had already talked to the doctor earlier and said, no, I'm not meeting you on the base tonight. But then he laid down and he decided that he couldn't take the pain, that he had to go get his stuff checked out, whatever, try to get some medication, I don't know. And yeah, pretty much the last thing a person that's having a panic attack wants is to be left alone. So I'm trying to deal with that right now. My mouth is super dry. I'm back and forth to the bathroom. Obviously just feeling really scared and nervous, and shaking everywhere. Just feeling like out of control, Well, you may not know if you don't have panic attacks, and if you don't, then you're really lucky. But since he just left, I just thought that it would help me to vlog, to make me feel like I was talking to somebody. But I've got to do my best to hold it together and know that everything's going to be alright, because I have 2 little girls here that are counting on me to take care of them and make sure they're safe. And, I just have to calm down. I immediately took the patch off as soon as I started feeling weird, so I don't know how long the residual effects of that are, but it's been almost 2 hours, I think, so hopefully I'll be feeling better soon and I can get some sleep, but that's kind of the last thing on my mind. I just want to feel normal. I just don't want to be afraid.